point.
I think you put, it all really well and in simple terms for, anybody who's familiar with your discography, and anybody who's not, I encourage you to kind of dive in and, sort of see how you have kind of swung from one space to another. But I guess as an electronic musician and as somebody who's constantly working with music hardware, music technology, sometimes even, making your own from scratch, what do you think of, I guess, this current trend in development that I see a lot of producers talking about, where through new developments in hardware and MIDI and software, it seems almost as if, maybe at some point this pendulum swing that you're talking about could almost be like eliminated from the meta as, sort of live instrumentation, electronic instrumentation almost become one and the same. Because it seems like
Right.
with each new technological development, the intention is to make the process of creating and composing, through these mediums so easy. It's as simple as picking up a bass guitar and just blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not keeping tabs on every single new development, so I'm going to just go with what you said there. I mean, I'm interpreting that as what I kind of broadly think I'm seeing, that it's the ways in which software seems to be developed, seems to be continually taking away ugly, brute, you might say sort of silent data, like streams of numbers or whatever it might be, because, in the end, actually, that's what all of this boils down to. If you're talking about a digital interface for creating sound, you're starting with pretty pictures, but you're always ending up with ones and noughts. And it seems to me to be removing the stages in between, so that you can kind of just have this intuitive interface, and you go straight through to the output. And look, I think it's would be a crass oversimplification to kind of make a value judgment on whether this is good, whether this is positive, whether this is not. It's going to open the doors up to people who don't necessarily have that disposition for technical stuff. Because, rewinding back to the kind of earlier days of electronic music, it would just simply be necessary for you to have an affinity for this kind of activity to actually really accomplish music in that way. It was, I suppose it varies somewhat on context, but really it would be a massive advantage if you did have that disposition for technical modes of thinking, and being able to look at things in a sort of abstract and perhaps mathematical way. Certainly going right back to the early days, pre mass market synthesizers, going back into the 70s and 60s, this was so hard that you would have to be extremely intrepid. You also have to have a massive budget, actually, as well, which is one of the great things about now.
That's true.
Is that those barriers to entry are completely removed. Because I found that so hard because I didn't know any money as a kid. I wanted to do stuff, but I just didn't have the means to acquire any equipment. Yeah. And any kid now with a laptop, can just dial straight in. And I think that's, really that whatever other considerations come into play, this is so valuable, I think, like to allow people that route. And they can, if they want to stick with the stuff where a lot of presets are being used, or a lot of the hard work, or a lot of the number crunching, so to speak, is being done for them, that's fine. And if they feel that the need to explore, then you can keep going. You can go deep as you want. It's actually what it is it's open on so many different levels to people with different dispositions, different strengths.
No, it's true. And thank you very much for watching this interview clip over on TND Streams. To see the full interview, click on the video link next to my head or down below, or hit up the link to subscribe to the channel, or see our Patreon page to support what we do and get some extra bonus monthly content in the process. Anthony Fantano, forever.